I feel crazy for worrying about this. I mean, apart from just leaving, what do I do? Pulled into this epic campground and there was this RV sitting here. No big deal. Cool. I just figured the people who owned the RV were gone. And then somebody pulled up to the RV and started messing with it. And then they pulled away again. It looked at first like they were trying to hook up, so I thought, oh, those are the people who own the RV. But then they pulled away. And whenever they did, they're now just sitting up at the edge of the drive here. Like they've been sitting there for like 10 minutes. Just sitting right where you come in. Just staring. There is another van here. However, I don't love this. This is kind of weird. Their actions are very strange. The van I haven't seen anyone at. It's pretty windy outside, so I don't expect people to just be like running around in the outdoors frolicking, but wow. And now he's going back down to the RV again. Again, just sitting there. Not sure why. I started watching this because I noticed that there was a man awkwardly standing outside, and it is really windy, like super, super windy. And I am currently watching the RV because I'm yet to see anybody actually go into the RV, including the man who was standing out there who was messing with it. And I don't feel the best. Now, as a solo female, I put my hat on. Okay. I think. Okay, he's now opened the door of the RV. And again, this might be nothing. This might be absolutely nothing. Normally, I don't watch my neighbors very closely. I just kind of am like, oh, okay, cool. We're all in the same place together. However, I have my hair up today, so I just put a hat on so I would appear more man-like. Very much so not trying to be a man. Very much so love my little floof. But at the same time, when someone is awkwardly threatening, I saw a tip for any woman to put their hair up into a hat and just pull it down far so you look a little bit more like intimidating. And I know that sounds weird, and I hate that I'm even doing that, but at the same time, that was very strange. I'm really hoping that there's nothing weird going on. Just watching. You know, you have to be very careful. I'm in a very remote area right now, and it could be absolutely nothing. And I really do hope it is nothing. But something just seems kind of weird about it. Does that make sense? I could always go and find another site. It is bright enough to do that. And I kind of am thinking I might need to. This is a beautiful site. But also, I don't understand what my neighbor is doing, and I just keep looking in my mirror to see what is going on, because I don't understand why, A, he would back up and then attach, but then not attach, and then just lurk. And then he never went inside. Never went inside. He was outside for like 35 minutes. It is hard to even function in the outside right now because of the amount of wind that is happening. Beautiful sight. So windy. Now he's coming back outside again. Like, the thing about it is, I've been to some campsites where there have been some RVs that have been abandoned and then somebody comes to try to claim them. I've seen that before. And so I was thinking at first, well, maybe this is one of those and that's what's going on here. But the guy just like opened the door like nobody's business. And maybe it's his. I don't know. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The activity that has been going on is just weird. And I need to get out of my van to go and organize some things. And that's going to be a challenge, so it's going to take me a minute. I just want to make sure that I am safe in doing so. And well, he didn't get in the truck. He's just outside. I understand some people like to bear it all in the elements. I understand some people like to just be out there. It is not that kind of like wind that you want to just stand out in it though. It's like knock you down kind of wind. And when I first saw him, he was kind of like, ugh, and I thought he was carrying something. And I think that's what threw me off, is the fact that he was out in the wind and it looked like he was carrying something. And at first I thought, oh, he's carrying a dog to go to the restroom. And I was like, oh, I wonder what kind of dog he has. And it started out as like an innocent, oh, I wonder what this is. And then it turned into a, what is he doing? Like, and again, this is me being a nosy Nelly because I'm trying to make sure I'm safe. But I think you need to be a nosy Nelly sometimes if something just kind of was like, oh. I even texted Riley and I was like, Riley, I've already called my parents. I told them where I am, but I need you to talk to me and make sure I'm sane. So she was like, are you safe? And I was like, I think I'm safe. I don't know if I'm safe though. I really don't. I'm not sure exactly what is happening here. I'm still not sure what is happening here. I don't understand attaching, detaching, doing the most. It just doesn't register what is going on exactly. Again, it would make more sense if he was either in the RV or in the truck, but he is in neither of them. He is just in the outside, but not in the outside that's like sheltered. And at first I thought, oh, well, maybe he's going to the restroom because you can see there's a little vault toilet over here. Nope, that wasn't it either. And he looks like he's a solo man. I feel crazy for worrying about this. I mean, apart from just leaving, what do? I do not feel comfortable with the fact that he didn't just pull up a while ago into like where you pull up. He pulled up and blocked the exit for a little bit, and just from the exit you can see directly into my van, and he just did this. That part creeped me out a little bit. Maybe he was just staring because I'm in the front seat instead of the back. I don't know. But like, I was on the phone and my service is better in the front than it is in the back because of the glass. I think I'm going to get on iOverlander and look for another spot. I can always come back to this one later. I'll mark this one for later because it's really nice, but I think I'm going to split. I've never not trusted my gut on something. And sure, it may be absolutely nothing again. It could just be that this is his RV. He likes to be outside. He loves the breeze. That's cool. And I know this sounds crazy to explain this as I'm just watching my random neighbor. However, he parked in a spot that would literally prohibit people from coming through on the actual road. Like, I can see where the van is parked. They're off to the side. I am off to the side. He's in the middle of the road again. That is loud music. Okay. I need to look at iOverlander, and I may need to go away from this site to do that. I don't like to make videos like this. I like to make videos of exploration and happiness and not weird stuff that happens on the road. And I have a whole day planned, and it was going to hub out of this campground right here. But like, if I can hear what I hear from here with the wind that we have, that's insane. Okay, so I'm gonna get some sunglasses. I'm gonna take off this hat, which has now squished the floof all to pieces. I'm going to refloof the floof, and I'm just gonna look wild. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah, no offense to that guy. I'm sure that he's just fine. But sometimes you just get a really uncomfortable feeling, and it was his actions themselves.
For 3 miles.
Not cool. As a solo female traveler, I feel like sometimes I have to do the most in order to just make sure I'm safe. And sometimes that means I have to abandon a really nice campsite so that I can make sure I'm good. And this is one of those instances where I am not thrilled about having to get out of here, because I really wish I could have done this like an hour and a half ago if that was the case, but I couldn't. And now it feels rushed and stressed and not okay. You know, again, I don't often have weird encounters where I just feel like somebody is a little not comfortable. Does that make sense? I don't want to, again, say anything bad about the person. He could have been a wonderful person. He just seemed to be either frustrated or intoxicated, and I'm not really wanting to be around any of that. I am traveling at the time of a holiday weekend, and I know that that causes a lot of tension sometimes, and people are silly and do weird stuff. And so I just avoid all of that. And typically I don't even travel during this time, but it's happening, it's happening. Also, it looks as though there might be a storm. So is this the worst thing, that I'm getting away from the water's edge? Probably not. The dilemmas just keep on coming. I put my cell phone cord in the back, and now my phone is squawking at me saying, hey, you're using your map. It's using a lot of power. You should probably get your cord. So I'm going to have to stop somewhere, but there's not really a shoulder out here, so I don't want to stop in the middle of the road, obviously. Okay, with the level of overcast that it currently is, I can take off my sunglasses for a few minutes, and I'm driving for a bit. It said that it was only like 10 miles away, but the way that it has you kind of loop through things, it's pretty windy for some of these areas, so we'll see how long this actually takes. Oh yeah, there's also free-range cows out here. That's why I didn't want to be driving at nighttime, because these are all black cows, and I would definitely not be able to see them as well at nighttime. I once was driving through the res as I was coming through Utah and kind of into Colorado, around the Four Corners area, kind of somewhere in there. I left like the Mexican Hat area, so it was somewhere between Mexican Hat and Four Corners. And I started to notice that there looked like there were flashing lights, and a lot of them. And that was really strange, because I'm in the middle of nowhere, like nowhere. And so I was like, okay, cool. Why are there flashing lights? So I proceeded to slow way down from what I was doing, which was just under the speed limit. It was dark outside. I always drive with my brights, and I always drive under the speed limit whenever it is night. I don't know where I'm going, so let's keep safe. And I saw someone with a physical looking flashlight just flagging, and I came to a complete halt, and I was like, oh my gosh, is everybody okay? And when you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's also kind of intimidating to like stop, because like you don't know what people are up to, you know? But at the same time, I could see that they were like, oh my gosh, stop, there's been an accident. I was like, okay, thank you. So I had these two hand lanterns, and so I popped them out, and I was like, let me help slow people down. And so as I was getting out my hand lanterns, I was like talking to the other car that was also pulled off. I was like, do you know what happened? And they were like, yeah, somebody hit a cow. And in res territory, a lot of places, it is open range, so you always need to be mindful of the cows. There are so many cows just roaming, and they cross over the roads, and in many cases, a lot of them are darker colored cattle, either dark brown or black. And at nighttime, they're basically invisible unless you have on your super bright lights, and even then, by the time that you see them, you're probably too close to them, and it's going to end badly. And so what happened was, they hit the cow in a large SUV. They had a cow catcher on the front, so it did completely ruin their SUV, but it also shot the cow forward. And cows, whenever they get hit, they basically freeze and become a brick. I did not know that. But they didn't just hit one, they hit two. They didn't know they hit the second one. And so they're just there. And when you're in the middle of like a territory like that, it takes a while for them to get assistance out to you sometimes. So the cars were just like building up, and we were there for like 30-45 minutes because you couldn't cross the road. There was a cow on the road, there was a SUV on the other side. It was just really bad. So anytime I see cows now, I'm just like, I'm really happy I'm not driving this at nighttime. With that said, I don't know how long this is going to take me to get where I'm going. I mean, the sky is kind of incredible, minus all the bugs, though. It's pretty neat. There is a little bit of lightning going on kind of in the distance, but, you know, we're going to find the positives. And, yeah, the map is telling me just keep on going, keep on going. If worst comes to worst, I can always come back to the state park. Somebody mentioned that it's like $40 to stay at this state park, which is quite a bit. So I don't know that I necessarily want to do that, but if I can't find this other thing to be suitable, I will come back and I'll pay $40, just because I would rather be safe anytime. Like, a lot of people are like, I'm not paying for a campsite, and I'm just like, sign me up for a campsite. If it means I'm safe for the evening as opposed to in a sketchy place, absolutely I'll pay for a campsite. So I decided I was going to stop and get some gas since I'm about to have to drive kind of in a weird direction. It's just started thundering like super loud, and also they're big fancy pumps, don't seem to want to take my debit card, so we're going inside. So I decided to get a pizza because, let's face it, today has not been my day when it comes to what's going on. Well, apparently it's just a chip thing, so it's fine. I just prepaid for my gas. Okay, we're going. We're good now. Okay, this one turned into a gravel road and we're about 3.5 miles from camp now. Okay, so even if this doesn't turn out, this is pretty epic. They're so incredible. Oh, and there's some more. So I need to be on the lookout for these probably, just in case. Okay, I know it's kind of green, but I made it to a new campsite. It has started raining. I'll show you this campsite when I wake up in the morning. I pulled in, there's no one here. I hope this turns out better. I really do. I'm just thankful that there were some other options that were within driving distance. I have my lovely pizza now to eat from the gas station. And I'm gonna just listen to the rain, eat my pizza, and then drift off to sleep. Tomorrow's gotta be better, right? Surely. Oh, some days are just weird on the road. Some days, they're just weird.